You always do all the talking. Okay, it says recording. This meeting is being. I'm saying continue. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hey, it's
Okay.
10:10 and it's RatX.
From one,
Yep.
one from 72. The ultra neutral with the straight, like you're like neutral because you're 10:10. And a lot of times I'll say things
Mhm.
that are just like completely like desolate and just distraught. And you're like, you're like, oh, it's not as bad.
You're like, well, the world's
And
going to end. And I'm like, well,
yeah.
if it does, it was just supposed to be that way. It's okay.
Yeah.
Here we are, right?
Yeah, here we are. Yeah. And today is
20, yep.
2/2
On a Tuesday.
on a Tuesday, which that's the thing that makes it significant because what's the last 2 day because in the beginning of this month it would have been February the 2nd, 2022, so it had been a Tuesday as well, but was it on an actual Tuesday or was it like on a Monday or Wednesday or Friday? Can you look it up? No. Are you looking it up? You're not looking it up.
Yeah, I was actually looking it up in Hebrew, but how did you know I was looking it up?
I know things, but anyhow, so I don't think that the second of the second of this month was actually on a Tuesday, so that's what makes this day like. And I'm sure a lot of people are already talking about this, but it dawned on me actually last night when I was talking to my student because his girlfriend is about to give birth to their child, and I was like, oh well, tomorrow would be a good day for it because her number will be 2 because today is a Tuesday. And I said, and it's Tuesday, dude. And so then it like dawned on me like, wow, it is Tuesday. That's crazy. So, and I'm probably the last to know about that. Everybody else is probably like, yeah, that's old news, man. We already knew
that's
about
old
it.
news.
We're talking about this for 4 years when the
right.
Tuesday is going to come up. It's weird.
It is weird.
It's weird how certain things line up. Like that's a total alignment. If you've ever seen one, that's definitely an alignment, which may mean absolutely nothing. But
yeah. Well, I guess Tuesday comes from the Old English Tywis dog after T or Tur, one of the Norse gods of dueling, was one-handed. It's interesting. Not that that really has anything to do with it.
So yeah, because I mean that would be like 2 instead of 1. So dueling, duel for whatever. The way I looked at it was like because I was thinking about this actually a couple of weeks ago, and not even thinking about this whole thing with the Tuesday, but I was thinking about the names like the Monday, like the morn day, Monday, because after the sun's day. And then I was thinking like Tuesday, oh yeah, that's the 2 day, and then Wednesday. So I was thinking about that stuff not long ago, but it is definitely weird. It's definitely weird. And because of that, we started looking at, it reminded us of some of the things that we were already looking into, like Soylent Green, which you told me about, right?
Yep. And it took place in the year 2022. And that movie was, I think it was 1973.
The script was written in 72. The film came out in 73. So during the year 1972, they were writing in the year 1972, they were writing about this year, 2022. The movie came out in 73, but the year that they're writing about it was this year.
Yeah. It is. And if you think about like the term soy is a type of food, obviously, but Lent actually comes from the word fodder. And then fodder is what you feed to cattle. So.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what that is? That's awful.
It is awful.
Which is weird because, like, when you say that, because what do humans predominantly eat? They eat cattle.
Yeah.
And so now it's like they're taking that and giving it back to them, giving you back as the Soylent Green to them.
Yep. And I think the thing is too, is that people in the movie, they didn't realize that they were actually eating other humans. They thought that they were eating algae, from the ocean. And if you're not familiar with the movie, people can, it's legal for people to go get euthanized. You can have yourself put to sleep permanently, and then they take your body and then they recycle your body back through and feed you to the living. And in this time, you're seeing like food prices and gas prices are astronomical. Like I think a jar of strawberry jelly was like $130, and it was difficult to find beef. It's just some correlations that we're seeing now,
All of this
so
is happening right now.
it
Walmart is
is.
locking up their. If you guys don't know about it, Walmart is locking up their beef behind lock and key. Like you have to, like a lot of Walmarts, you have to actually, if you want to get like the beef out of whatever freezer, you have to have
Mhm.
an employee come open it up and pull it out. Like that's a thing that's happening right now. We know that the gas prices are going up. In fact, they're going to skyrocket after this war starts, anyhow. With that and everything else that's going on with the truckers and stuff. But also, like when you're just saying about the people, it became legal to go ahead and get yourself permanently put to sleep forever.
Mhm.
If you guys don't know this, and you can all look this up, which most people ain't gonna look up. We always say this, nobody looks up anything. They just passed it, like I think just last year or maybe just this year. It's like
Mhm.
literally just happened. Like there's so many states in America that have already set that up. Like these like um that it's legal for you to do that. And then there's other countries that are actually setting up beds that you go and you lay down in,
Mm.
or sit up in or whatever, and they make you real comfortable, and then it puts you out and you're out permanently. And that all lines up perfectly with Soylent Green, and Soylent Green, or was that what was the name of the movie?
Yeah, Soylent
Soylent,
Green.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
you're right.
yeah, Soylent Green. It's exactly what's happening now, but it's in the year 2022. Like how in 1972 was somebody writing the script exactly what's happening right now this year? How is
Hmm.
that even possible? Like it's just not possible
No.
um, to just be natural. Now, the person himself, who he or she, whoever wrote the script, there might not be anything magical or special about them, but you and I were just talking about this earlier, that some people, they're getting channeled information to give out to, because they're already an artist. And so I think that some beings are channeling information through that artist to put out a message. Like they're like, because when you, like we are talking about your imagination, most people should have an imagination. People who don't have an imagination, there's something really inherently wrong with them. Period. I truly believe that they're disconnected from their body and soul there, because it's just weird how you cannot have simply have an imagination.
Hmm.
But the people who do um, have an imagination, and they're getting they think of something, like all of a sudden it pops up in their head, like, oh yeah, there's, and it just like when I write a song or when I write a script or whatever, it just flows out, man. You don't really sit there and try to figure out a lot of stuff. A lot of it just flows out. Well, where does that flow come from? Where is that coming from? That's just your imagination. But it also is possible that another being could be just channeling sometimes, not
Hmm.
every single thing that you create, but some things you create, some being could be channeling a message to give through, because they know that that message, if they could see, past, present, and future, they know that in the future that message is actually going to get out. So they're doing it that way, instead of the being just popping up and saying, here, let me give you this story. They're doing it through these channels. And I think like the movie Soul and Green, how is it possible? How is it? Tell me, 1010, how is
Yeah.
that possible?
Well, I was looking at his early life. The writer, producer, um, and he is actually a Jupiter.
Oh my gosh. I
So,
was just gonna say, don't tell me he's a Jupiter.
and
I
his
literally
film,
I was just gonna say, I swear to
don't
you,
tell
I was
me,
gonna say, do not tell me that this guy's a Jupiter.
don't tell
Please
me.
tell me that he's like German, or like he's Scottish, or he's
Oh,
Irish. Nope, he's a Jupiter. How is it possible? Like, there's this, how many cultures live here in America? Like, a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a lot of different cultures. Yeah, it just so happens it's that one that
Mm-hmm.
gives you that message. I mean, come on. There's just too
Yeah.
much of it.
And his film career began in 1942. And 1942
That's
is
when
during the World War.
that's
So,
also
and
when Harry, not Truman, become president.
yep. So a lot of interesting things
Harry,
happening.
not Truman.
Harry, not Truman. He's not a real man.
I'm gonna move this microphone around so maybe it's more clear.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So then the other one that we were looking up, which was 2022, which is what you've actually been working on, that you've been reading.
Oh, Don't Look Up.
No, the book.
Oh, the book. Yeah, the Anunnaki Code.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good information in there, but it's difficult because one, I don't know where they get this information from. I mean, it talks about some of the information, like his resources, but a lot of it, after going through these different words, it's always a triangle. And as you know, like the triangle is on the back of the dollar bill with the all-seeing eye. And I was looking at the tetragrammatron earlier, and it's a triangle as well, or a tetrad. And in the tetrad,
I don't want to. I don't want to cut you off real fast, on
mhm.
which I do all the time. I was just in somebody's car yesterday. You know, riding in somebody's new fancy vehicle that they just got, and I was looking at the dashboard, and there's the hazard symbol, and the hazard symbol is a damn triangle, and it just like dawned on me, like, why did and all the symbols that they could have used? Why is that the triangle a hazard symbols to turn on the hazards? You know, it's a triangle, like a warning, a be careful with this.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I mean, they could have used a circle. They could have used a hexagon or a square. They could have used any other symbol, but they chose the
The
triangle.
triangle.
Now, if you go and you look up the tetragram or the tetragrammatron, I'm not even saying that right, tetragrammaton, you can see in Wikipedia that there's images and it's a triangle. It looks like a spaceship to me. I know I was talking to you about that before, and which makes sense in the grand scheme of things when it comes to the Anunnaki and the Jupiters worshiping, you know, Yohe or Yahweh, Jehovah, or YHWH, depends on how you want to um, remember it or call this particular god of Israel, or the Jupiters. And I don't even know how to explain the other image I found because it's geometria, which is code. So you can use a word and then it
Can you put
comes up
that picture up right
numerically.
now? Can you?
Let's
Are you
see.
able to put up the picture of that? I
Yeah.
remember you're like figuring that out earlier, so that way people can actually see it on the screen. What we're
Hmm.
talking about. And we
Can you see it?
apologize because we don't really. We're still learning all this stuff on Zoom.
Yeah.
Not very good.
Yeah.
I was just cussing up a fit like 10 minutes before we got on, wasn't I?
He was trying to post his picture and we spent quite a bit of time doing that. And I was like, okay, well, maybe share your screen. Anyway, and this is kind of like, this is stuff that I was just going through today. So I'm not necessarily like clear as to how to piece this all together yet, but can you see my screen, Rat?
Yeah, I can see it. It's showing. Yeah, you can explain it, but yeah, I see the triangle with the numbers and how it all equals up to the number 72. It's more evident. I don't know how much more we have to give to people. It's pathetic that
Mm-hmm.
people are literally not looking at this and taking it more serious. and they're just like, whatever, and they're just shrugging it off. Yeah, whatever.
Yep.
Like it's all right there. And you see all this stuff with that 72, like what you're presenting right here now. And we know that the year 72 was
Hmm.
hacked.
Yep.
It's like, come on, dude, the year 72. It's the year itself was hacked, and we know that the number 72 is this insane, crazy number that I didn't even care about my entire life. And I was born in 72, did not care about it. Like, why should I have cared? But then after all this happens, it's like, well, there's a message and we're supposed to give it out. Here it is. And nobody cares either. Whatever. Anyhow, okay, go ahead. Sorry. I go on my
That's
rant. That's
okay.
what I do. We changed my name from RatX to RantX. RantX.
No.
RantX. Let's get that N in. RantX. RantX.
Rantex. No, it's good. So yeah, like looking at this image, you can see the use of, it's what they call a tetrax. I apologize, I don't know how to say it. A tetraxix of the letters of the tetragrammatron, and then that adds up to 72 by gematria. So I can tell you a little bit more about this from the research I've done so far. The tetrax, which reminds me of the what was the black cube?
What the
Tet-
Tetrax in
oh,
Transformers, and you
yeah.
guys can research this too. Transformers 1972. It'll blow your mind.
Hmm.
Transformers 1972.
Yep. So there's
Tetrax.
that. And they also call this a tetrad, a triangular figure consisting of 10 points, a mystical symbol. And also, this is interesting too, which I'm going to have to probably go into further with this. It's the secret worship of Pythagoreanism. And maybe some of you are aware of the Pythagorean theorem, in school, learning that. But gematria is Hebrew using numerical value to a name, word, or phrase according to an alphanumerical cipher. Now, cipher is an algorithm for performing encryption or decryption or code. So I have a couple of, well, maybe not even a couple, but I know it's going to take me down some road I probably don't want to go down, but I'm going to go down it anyway. It already took me down to the 72 by gematria, but I'm going to also look at the tree of life in Kabbalah, the Bome heart, which also has something to do with it, and somehow tie that all together to the Jupiters or the Anunnaki portals, 1972 or 72. I mean, you can obviously see 72. Like I probably don't have to do much more with that because it's right there. But it's like a fingerprint of them saying, oh, hey, look what we did. And we went to 1972 to do it. Now, why did they have to go to 1972? They could have gone to any other year, possibly, right?
Yeah.
But they decided that because this number, this has substantial numerical value to it.
And we know that everything, and it's just the thing. Like, I know that there are like people out there who completely lost their minds over numerology. Like, they just go down this rabbit hole of consistent things that have to do with any certain number, but they're not things of significance to anyone else besides themselves, really. So it's just like nobody really cares because, okay, that's your journey that you're running down on this number. Good for you. But there's nothing that it holds any value for the rest of the world or anybody else. The stuff that we're showing about 72, it affects the entire freaking world because we would right now not be on the internet or on the phone if in 1972 Bill Gates didn't start his career in 1972, if DARPA didn't become 1972. There's just all this stuff, cell phones, everything, 1972. So like the fact that we're even broadcasting this message out is from the year 72, and that's that's why I don't really look at this as like some type of like numerology, insanity. it literally, I like, for like the longest time I was always saying I removed myself from the equation. It has nothing to do with
Mm-hmm.
me. It has to do with you guys, with, well, not you, but everyone else in general. If it was like something like that, I just would have stopped a long time ago, because there's no point in sharing those things. There's things that are weird that I notice, guys, and I don't share it. And the same thing with you, Tintin. I'm sure that you're just like, oh, whatever. That's just something that I'm experiencing.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. But this is
Crazy things.
outside. Yeah, this is outside of, everything. And if you look up 72 in the Bible, or like, as far as like there were 72 language, right? At the Tower of Babel. And 72
Language
hours.
became 72.
Yep. 72 hours when Jonah was in the whale.
Really?
So I think so. Like three
Oh,
three
wow.
days maybe.
Yeah, yeah, wow. Yeah, like the whole thing with Jesus risen in 72 hours, 3 days and 72 hours. One prophet, 72, which I don't put any stock into any of that stuff. It's just the fact that there it is. This is a lot of Anunnaki, trickery and stuff, but yeah, look, it's all numbers, guys. They have a
Mm-hmm.
certain number for a certain thing. Every time that you guys go to eat food, for the most part, somebody measures out something to make that food, and they measure it by looking at like 1 cup, 2 cups, a quart, or whatever. That's numbers. So when people say, well, it's not, it's like, dude, like everything, when you put fuel in your car, when you put oil in your car, or whatever, it can only take so much liters or so many gallons. That's a number. It's a set
Mm-hmm.
number that it takes, and when that number runs out to zero, there's none left. We have a number that we use, which is zero, which is funny because numbers is your thing, because you are 10, 10, 1 and 0.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely makes sense that you go down the path that you go down. Yeah,
Definitely.
there
There I go again. This is what people come here
I go again.
for. They're like, yes, we hope that he will.
He'll explode again.
Uh,
He's gonna go off. There he is. He's gonna pop.
yep. So we just are meeting today. I'm sure everybody's kind of like, what's the point of this video? Just kind of going through a few things because today is 2/22/2022, and we thought it would be good to have a WebEx together, or a Zoom. Sorry, not WebEx. Just about some things that we've been working on, and we know that this stuff is going to take a lot of time to get through. I know for you, Rat, you'll do like an hour's worth of a video, and it probably takes you like a week to like get all the information together, and then you record it, figure out what you're going to say. Like for me, I do shorter videos, but it takes the amount of research, going through books and um, different resources, just to make sure that you don't pull something, like put somebody in the wrong direction. It takes quite a bit, but
Yeah, we try to make sure our stuff's backed up, and at any time anybody wants to debunk anything, bring it on, because I and you as well do not want to give out inaccurate information, because then it's a waste of our time. That's a
yeah.
waste of time. We're neither one of us are asking for likes, share, subscribes. No, but I would say like, share, and subscribe. Her channel, but we're not asking for donations. We're not, none of that stuff. Like, you see a lot of channels, they do all that stuff, and it's because they're, a lot of them want to turn a buck. And if somebody's trying to turn a buck, and I'm not knocking people who are doing it, but you got to question the information, because once you run out of content that's interesting, that's been making you a profit, then you have to start reaching out and trying to, you know um, make stuff up to keep your profits going. That's the reason why when we see a movie and then they make a sequel and another one, it gets worse and worse and worse, because they just kind of run out, but they want to keep
Hmm.
making that money off of that brand, and we're not doing that. We have nothing invested. We're not getting any investment back on giving you guys information. We're doing it because, look, this is what we're supposed to do. This is what we're tasked to do. Um, but and here I go. I'm going on another rant here.
Yeah, no.
The other one too
Well,
is that the other thing that you saw. I don't want to cut you off because we only got like a couple more minutes. But the other one too is that the other thing that you saw for 2022 wasn't it that movie Don't Look Up? Did you say that was in the year 2022?
yeah, I think that's what I saw as far. I mean, it was released to Netflix in 2022. And
It
I
was
mean,
supposed to be in the year 2022 too, wasn't it?
I think so. Hmm.
I think so as well.
But I did
So,
want to mention, oh, sorry,
no,
about
go
the
ahead.
Tetragrammaton before.
Mhm.
Um, Actually, if you arrange the four letters of the great name, is what they call it, the YH, Yohevahe or whatever, YHVH, in the form of the Pythagorean tetriacs, the 72 powers of the great name of God are manifested. And it gives the key to the problem. I know this is hard for you to follow because I wouldn't know what you were saying either if you were to tell me. But 72 equals the great name of God. That's what it equals.
Don't you have a picture of that?
Let's see.
I think he sent me that picture so people can see it. Like she sent me a picture that says that 72 is the numerical. Is it the numerical number of the name of God? Like come on, you know. And for those of you out there who are highly religious, saying, "Oh, well, that's it, it's God." It's like we're not really saying it's actually God. We're saying that there are beings who are manipulating a timeline, who are doing things that are like God-like powers. And there's a fingerprint right there with the number 72.
Yep. So I'm gonna stop sharing.
Oh, wait, you done?
No, I'm gonna put up a picture.
Oh, so you're gonna stop sharing. Sharing is caring. As
It
I said
is.
earlier, if you're not from Jupiter, you're stupider.
Can you see my screen?
um, yep, there it is, guys. There it is.
So this is just to show everybody that I'm not trying to make up anything at all, but this is exactly, the kind of content that is around. And numbers are one thing that are difficult to manipulate. And I'm not talking about, like, if I have two sticks, I have two sticks. If I take one stick away, I still have one stick. So
I think that's how cultures actually communicated before they knew how to speak the other's language. Like they probably communicated through numbers. It seems like that would have been made sense. You have something or you don't have something. Like you said, two for two. Like if I
right.
offer you two of these, can you give me two of those?
Hmm.
Right. So that's a communication
It
without
is.
without the language. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, this is just pretty much what I have so far. And I'll probably do a video um, tying most of this stuff together. And then I have to figure out how it correlates with the tall whites or the Anunnakis and the Jupiters.
I'm making a lot of noise.
So, no, you're.
Okay. I'm gonna start driving here, but I can still talk while I'm driving
Okay.
because I'm
But yeah,
looking
if
at
you,
everything.
yeah, if you have time, to look up the tetragrammatron, and you can see, like, especially in the Catholic churches, you'll see the triangle, and then you'll see like what looks like bursts of light and then clouds. And if you
They're
are,
constantly showing. You're right. They're constantly showing that triangle with the Holy Trinity.
mhm,
What is
yes,
this triangle? Why is it the triangle? What's wrong with a circle? Isn't a circle like a better? You would think that a circle is more of a
Yeah, a
triangle.
circle. Yeah.
Yeah, the triangle is inhuman. It's the opposite. That has points of beginnings and endings.
Hmm. Where the
Start,
circle
stop, start,
never
stop.
ends.
The
Yep.
circle never ends. It gives you more of um, more connection with yourself, right? The circle does,
Right.
whereas the triangle does not. Am I still here? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. I was taking
Oh, okay,
another
perfect.
photo. I
Oh,
apologize.
that's right.
I'm trying to do this all on my phone.
You're trying to take another. Oh, you found something else?
Hmm.
It's gonna be a little noise here. Driving.
And I'm sorry if it's a little bit blurry, but this
Did
is
you draw that?
also, no, this is also
Oh,
this is like the original, or it's a type of tetragrammatron, or so you think about like it, to me, it looks like a spaceship, like with the circles and the triangle in the middle. So you were talking about the Planet of the Apes and the movie where it was the Return of the Planet of the Apes, right? Where he came back to the planet and there was a group of humans there. And what were they doing?
when which one? When the apes came to Earth, or when the humans went to? Well, actually, it's actually the same planet. That's
Yeah,
what's
the one
crazy.
about the one about the bomb, the nuclear
Oh,
bomb.
in the second one. So the second
Yep.
Planet of the Apes, which I've been really on the Planet of the Apes lately. I've been really paying attention to that. You guys can watch that. You can watch all those free on YouTube right now. If you guys don't know it, and I would suggest go and watch the Planet of the Apes, because there's, like I said, some people are getting channeled messages. The very first Planet of the Apes movie, this is just really bizarre. The first Planet of the Apes movie, they within like the first 5 minutes of the movie, they mention 1972. Like they
Mm-hmm.
literally mentioned 72. And the
Yep.
movie was actually shot in the year 68. Now, in 1968, we haven't even never been to the moon yet. That Kennedy
Mm-hmm.
was pushing to go to the moon, but they didn't go to the moon until Nixon became president in 69. So that's actually when they went to the moon. And 72 is when we stopped going to the moon. And so in the movie Planet of the Apes would have been preemptive programming, because he's talking about the one guy being, oh, you're the golden boy of 72, and all this stuff. And it's, because a guy's an astronaut. And it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
come on, what are the odds? And by the way, there were 3 of the guys that were on that survived that too. And they also go back, if they also go back to 72 again in the movie somewhere, and then in the year 1972, they make another Planet of the Apes, which is Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. And
Mm-hmm.
Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, I would suggest you will go watch that, because that's like, it's about a complete takeover of another species over your species, the evolution, another species that evolves over the species of humans.
Yep.
Ta-da! There it is.
Ta-da.
It's like, I don't know
But
how much more to tell you guys.
right. So the point of that being is the fact that if you think about humans that were on this planet, or even an extraterrestrial species, if God comes down in a spaceship, they might not necessarily worship the being, but the actual um, ship or power that the being has, which if the being is not infinite or you can kill it, what's the power that it's using? Oh, it's spaceship. Maybe God never came out of the spaceship. I mean, it's possible. To me, this looks like it could be a ship, a drawing of a ship, and God is inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You tell me, Rat, what do you
That's
think?
that could be, you could be correct, right? Like if you're saying, like, when you're looking at those numbers and they're talking about the triangle, and they're talking about it's 72, and in 72 is God, and now you're seeing this picture where it's showing that being is inside of the triangle, the God is inside of the triangle. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
God, when I think about it, geez, didn't Mork from Mork and Mindy, didn't he have a triangle on his freaking chest?
I
And
think so.
wasn't the
Yeah.
God in a triangle or something? Now I think about it, I don't know. I have to go back and look at it, but I think it
Mm-hmm.
has something to do with like a lot of stuff with triangles and Mork and Mindy now.
Yeah, I mean, and that makes sense too, because we could go back to the dollar bill where they talk about the all-seeing eye and the triangle. So,
And that's the eye of God they call it, right?
yep.
But they don't say anything about 72. But however, in the year 1972, the money all changed too. I mean,
It did.
72.
It definitely did. That's when they stopped backing money with gold.
You know, it's funny because yeah, we started this video because we were talking about here. We were talking about the number 2 in 2022, and we go right back to the 72. But
Yep.
and we all know like 7 is like this big number, and then you have the 72. But
Which is weird.
It keeps dragging you back, is what it does.
Yeah. Because right now it's 2:07 on my clock. So
Clock is right twice a day or something. Is that what they say?
yeah,
The clock is
it's white.
on time twice a day or something. Whatever.
Something like that.
A broken clock is even correct twice a day. I think that's what it says.
So I think that's all the picture. I might have one more picture to show. So they can see, or you can
At least you're
see.
able to do that now. That's a step forward in our advancement, guys. Right
It
there.
is. We're moving up in the world. We are
Yeah.
moving up.
Figuring out pictures. That's how I read. I read with pictures.
You read with pictures?
Yeah. I gotta have books with pictures in them. If I don't, I hate just sitting there staring at words and just trying. I don't know how people sit there and just read. It takes like for me to sit down and read something, I have to really be interested in it. I just can't just sit around and just read stuff.
Yeah, it's difficult that way. I have to do a mixture of both, because sometimes I have to see it and then I have to read it over again to make sure that I'm understanding it correctly. If you could see that this is the Tetragrammatron by Francesco Goya, which is the name of God. But you can see that there's a triangle in the middle and it's bright like the sun. And I want to show another one, but at the bottom, you can see the adoration of the name of God, which is in 1772. And how is that even possible? Did he plan that? Because the name of God is 72 in geometria. But in 1772, he created this adoration of the name of God.
The year 1772.
The year 1772. Wow. Yep. So I'm going to do another picture.
How much more evidence do people need? That's
you just bear with me. So this picture is what I was talking about when it comes to how the Tetragrammatron is normally portrayed in a lot of these buildings. You can see the triangle in the center with clouds and light. That's what that is portraying to me. So I look at that and say, well, that looks like a spaceship that with bursts of light coming from around it.
No, what is that picture supposed to be of, or where is it? What is it connected to? It's a pretty picture. But
it is pretty. So it's the Church of Our Lady, and it's the symbol of the Holy Trinity.
There's so much of this triangle stuff. Like, why is it there? Like, I don't get it. I don't know why people are not really looking into the stuff in a different, like, obviously they're telling you in your face that an alien species has done some takeover a long time ago.
Yep.
And they're showing it right there with this triangle imagery. They don't need that to be there to talk about the stuff in the Bible. In fact, does it talk about triangles in the Bible at all? I don't remember ever like there being triangle worship, but yet the triangle worship is there.
Mhm. Well,
It's bizarre, man.
yeah, if you think about it, there's 3 days that Jesus was in the tomb. There's the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, which they do in a triangle form.
Mhm.
They they like 72 hours. We know that 72 names of God, 72 languages.
72 demons.
Mhm.
If you die and go
Let's
to
see.
heaven, you're a Muslim, you get 72 virgins.
Yep.
We know that the steps to King Tut's tomb was 72 steps. They also said it was 72 steps to ascend to heaven.
Right.
In some text, which I don't remember where I heard that from, but I was just like, yeah, figures, whatever. I just tuck it away, and the rest of the nonsense.
Yeah. So, like, if you look at this one, I put a new one up, but you can see the name of God in the triangle and rays of light coming from around it. And then you can see what looks to be like clouds, but it's probably smoke. So, smoke and lights radiating from this alien craft. It's the point is try to look at it from a completely different perspective as what you would normally look at it. It's not the celebration of God's name. It's the celebration of the physical craft that he came from or was dwelling inside of.
These beings came from. I think this
Yes.
whole thing they're keep saying they're using this whole thing like this one God and stuff. There really is no God there. It's just these beings use this as trickery to get people to a lesser being to believe in a thing. Like you can see that
Right.
on the Star Trek movie when they end up going to like this one planet and the people are undeveloped and they actually hide the spaceship underwater, and that's actually the one with Khan. And that's actually where they're talking about 72 people in cryostasis, and they keep bringing up 72 in that movie. But in the beginning of that movie, they're hiding from an indigenous species on a planet because they don't want them to see their tech. Because once they see their tech, then they start worshiping it, and it actually happens. It's like
Right.
it's
Which
all
is
in the face, guys.
exactly to your point, is exactly what has happened. We're worshiping their technology.
Yep.
That's all we're doing.
And people are
And
doing it right now. All these people who are these new agers who are saying that they're resonating with the Palladians or whatever and stuff, and they're getting these downloads. Dude, you guys are you're creating another. This is the same thing. It's another religion.
mhm.
It's the same crap. You're just doing it
And
now in 2022.
yeah, I mean, I know you and I both talked about, would we love for there to be a God? Absolutely. But it's just not the one that we've been told about. These are aliens. These are
There's
beings that want to control us and manipulate us through time hacks and all kinds of stuff, time warfare.
probably are gods, but they don't require worship. They don't require you to
No.
do anything besides live and just be the
Hmm.
best you that you can be. That seems more of an omnipotent just being than a being
Hmm.
that says, hey, if you don't do what I want you to do, I'm going to punish you for eternity. That's insanity.
Yeah.
That's
But not,
tyrants.
it is, but not give you
Government.
the option if you want to be here or not. Like, did I sign up to come here? But then
Yeah, right.
once I get here, there's a
Where's the
50-50
contract?
chance. Yeah, there's a 50-50 chance that I'm going to accept you as God. And if I don't, I'm going to hell. So why would I even may the odds be in your favor, everyone. This is like,
I gotta go. This
all
has been
right,
fun. We need to do another one.
we will. Thanks, Rat.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I'll be looking forward to listening to the video later.
All righty.
Everybody like, share,
Bye-bye.
subscribe our videos. Bye.
Bye.